Warning, this video features alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. All right, joking aside, this is lemonade, no alcohol. Never mix alcohol and firearms, not a good idea. I'm gonna put the cigarette out. It was a prop, although I do smoke. What we're gonna cover today is a impressions, kind of a informal review on the Foxtrot Mike FM 9. Right now, I found this. Brownells likes to post their videos, new products. Always costs me money. Well, not always, but it did this time. And so I saw the Foxtrot Mike. I don't have one of those. I don't have a 9mm PCC. Let me go ahead and let me give one a try. So I ordered the one with the 5-inch barrel. Right now it does not come with this handguard. The barrel ends right about here. It comes with a blast forwarding device, which protrudes about half of an inch or so from the end of the handguard that comes on it. The handguard that it ships with has a proprietary barrel nut. It has an internal diameter of 1.3 inches. The threads on the end of the barrel, though, are going to be inside of the handguard. So if you're going to attach a suppressor or change out the blast forwarding device for a different muzzle device, it needs to be smaller than 1.30 inches. Now this setup here does have a suppressor on it. The outside diameter on this suppressor is 1.25 inches, but I found that it was contacting the inside of the handguard that shipped on it. Unless it's absolutely perfectly centered, I wouldn't count on being able to put a suppressor underneath the stock handguard. So what I did is I swapped out the handguard. We have a Midwest Industries suppressor compatible handguard. It's basically just a handguard with an internal diameter of 1.75 inches. The threads on the barrel end about here, well actually about here. Suppressor attaches onto it and protrudes just past the handguard. The handguard is a mid-length handguard. This is my second Midwest Industries handguard. Nothing bad to say about them so far. The buttstock on it is not a stock. It is a brace. It came with a bladed rear brace. I swapped it out to one that is adjustable and still is a pistol brace, so that I don't have to SBR this pistol. It maintains it as a pistol. So long as the overall barrel length at the end of your threads is less than 16 inches, the receiver is marked as a pistol. This one is a multi, so it's not actually marked as a pistol, but it qualifies as a pistol. So long as the barrel length is less than 16 inches and it has a pistol brace, or other thing I like about this is you can just take it off. Right, this is prior to pistol braces, how you would have had an AR type pistol. The buffer tube on this is mil spec, so if I were to swap this out with a fixed stock by just sliding this off and putting the fixed stock on there, it would become a short barreled rifle. And if you don't have a tax stamp for that, do not do that. Unless you want to be a felon with a 10-year prison sentence and a $250,000 fine. Not good. But the pistol brace allows you to either support it by through the straps, supporting it on your forearm, or if you just so happen to tuck it into your shoulder, it functionally works similar to a rifle stock. Right, so we swapped that out. We swapped out the fore end. Obviously, it did not come with a suppressor. This is a Form 1 suppressor. I ordered this with a jig, and it shipped with the serial number and all of my information already engraved on the tube. The reason for that is for the people that sell this Form 1 kit, it requires that you have an approved Form 1 before they ship it. Now, It wasn't always the case that way. You could have ordered the kit previously. It would have come unmarked. And until you would have actually done any modifications to it to actually convert it into a functional suppressor, it would have been perfectly legal to own. Now, however, the ATF has pressured manufacturers of solvent traps and Form 1 kits and requiring them to see proof that you have submitted or have an approved Form 1 paperwork prior to shipping it to you. Once they see that paperwork with this manufacturer, it already came engraved. So the plus on that is it did save me the cost of having it engraved, and the process to drill out all the baffles on the end cap took a little more than an hour. Right, that was using the jig. All the baffles are aluminum with one steel blast baffle in the first section of the stack. They all drill through nice and easy. Unlike the 22 Form 1 kit that I had that had titanium baffles, that one was a nightmare to try to drill through. But being all aluminum and steel on the inside, on the internals, and on the end cap, it's very easy to drill right through. So I had my Form 1 approved, showed that, ordered this, and they shipped it within a few days, got it at my home, and drilled it out to convert it into a suppressor. This suppressor is hearing safe unless you're shooting the gun. All right, the reason for that is if you're standing off to the side, you're not so close to the action cycling that you're going to hear that, and you're not going to have any ringing of the ears if you're 3 feet away or more from the suppressor. However, if you're shooting and you've got your head close to the bolt as it cycles, the sound and noise of the gun cycling is going to be enough by itself to make your ears ring. That's pretty loud when it's going at full speed. Now, basic features of the FM9 itself. Right, so it has all the ergonomics and I guess manual of arms is the buzz phrase they like to use now, of an AR-15. On this side we have a bolt hold open, works standard, safety selector, works standard. By the way, the weapon is clear. All right, we don't handle firearms that are not clear unless we intend to shoot. All right, so it's got last round bolt hold open, standard non-ambidextrous AR-15 style safety, and then an AR-15 style magazine release. Right, it's pinned here so that it can release up front where the Glock magazine grooves are cut into the magazines. Right, there is ammunition in there, but I tend to keep my weapons cruiser ready or amber without a round in the chamber, so that if all I would have to do is cycle the gun. Tend to keep it clear, hammer forward. When I pick it up, if I cannot manipulate the safety, I know that the hammer is forward, right? Because on an AR-15 you cannot cycle the safety without the hammer being cocked. So we've got the last round bolt hold open, standard manual arms of an AR-15. It is blowback operated, all right, or recoil operated. The beauty of that when running suppressed is, since it doesn't use a gas system, the suppressor isn't going to overpressurize the gas system and cause gas blowback into your face. Now, that said, it will run your bolt at a slightly higher velocity still. So you can either swap out the buffer with a heavier weight carbine buffer, but I haven't done anything like that. Let's see if I can pop this open. I don't have fingernails. All right, so the bolt is black nitride. It's proprietary to Foxtrot Mike. No issues with the bolt so far. They say run it wet, which I tend to do anyway. I use CLP, military CLP. Standard mil-spec AR-15 trigger group. It's got a pinned-in ejector for 9mm, And I'm not sure if you can see the bolt hold open. The follower on a Glock mag will trip this and cause our bolt hold open to catch the bolt in the open position. Until getting this, I wasn't aware that that was such a rare feature, but apparently on 9mm carbines and pistols, AR style, the last round bolt hold open is somewhat unusual. Standard mil-spec buffer tube with a carbine buffer and an AR-10 spring. That's pretty much standard on your 9mm carbines. We went ahead and topped this off with a holosun 403B. It's a 2 MOA red dot. And up front here, we just put a TLR 7A light. I purchased this to use on my carry weapon, but I could never find a holster for it that would accommodate the light and was passive retention. They all had some sort of active retention where you have to push a button or something like that. I don't like those, so I'd rather run it without a light. So I had the light just sitting around, and the beauty of running this light in combination with the optic is the line of sight of the optic is over the light, so you can sight and have full field of view through your optic. Not that that really matters, but you can have full field of view through your optic over the top of the light. Now, in shooting, testing of this, I've only had an opportunity to fire a few hundred rounds through it. Ammo prices being what they are, 9mm right now going for around 75 cents a round to 60 cents a round. It's a little bit expensive. I buy all the ammunition myself, of course, like everybody else. So, you know, fired more than $100 worth of ammo through it for testing. 100% reliable, all right, zero malfunctions. Accuracy, all right, so accuracy on this, it's got a 5-inch barrel, so I would expect accuracy equivalent to, and velocity, equivalent to a pistol with a 5-inch barrel, because it is a pistol, but I'm talking about a pistol you might carry. That said, you're gonna have higher accuracy because it's in a configuration that you can more readily support, and if you mount a red dot to it, you have almost a rifle-like sighting system, which is going to dramatically improve your accuracy just by the stability and the optics that you can put on it. But back to accuracy. So with the stock setup, I ran a barrel extension on the end of the barrel at first. It was threaded. This comes threaded 1/2 by 36. I had a threaded adapter that adapted it from 1/2 36 to 1/2 28. It was also about that long, which put my threads just forward of the handguard that came shipped on this. That allowed me to go ahead and attach the suppressor outside of the handguard. The problem was, though, is with that barrel extension, the internal diameter was below what it was advertised as, and the rounds were actually getting squeezed through it. So when they were coming out, they were coming out being slowed down, and their stability was affected because they were contacting the inside of that extension. So until I swapped that out, I was thinking the accuracy on this was garbage. But once I got rid of that and shot it without the adapter, it's a tack driver for the ranges that you would expect to use this. I would not expect to use a 9mm beyond 100 meters. You know, for inside the home distances, you're not going to miss, other than your optic being mounted above your bore. You're always going to need to account for that. This is about 2.5 inches above the bore. So if I'm at extremely close range inside the house distance, I'm going to want to make sure if I need to hit something and I need to put that shot precisely, I'm going to aim about 2.5 inches high, or at least 2 inches high, and that'll take care of that. So accuracy on this was very good. Reliability, like I said, 100% so far. I did not like this single bladed stock that came with this, although you can get it with the SB3, which is what I put on it. We put a sling swivel on there. It comes with a couple of places on either side for you to put a sling swivel. Quick detach, pretty much standard. I do not have a sling for this. If I was going to get a sling, I would put a single point sling from here so that I could basically hang it around my neck like a necklace. The optic, it's a holosun, like I said, 403B. First holosun optic I've purchased. So far, it's been running good. No complaints, no problems. I like how the caps on the elevation and azimuth adjustments have a little raised area that allows you to make adjustments on the azimuth and elevation adjustments. Other thing I like about this is I prefer rotary controls, but whatever control that I use, I would like a control that with one action, right? If it's rotary, I like to have I like to be able to turn it on or turn it off with one rotation, clockwise or counterclockwise. The other holosun I was looking at that had a rotary adjustment on it, it started at off and you had to rotate it all the way up to 11 to get it to max brightness. All right, that's a lot of clicks to go to get it to where I might want it. It didn't have off positions in between. So I went with the push button style, because literally all I have to do is just touch it plus or minus and it's going to come on at the last level of brightness I had it set to. All right, battery life on these is so good that you can leave it on and just replace out your battery every year or two or every few months, you know, depending upon the use. Use the standard 2032 battery. What I don't like is the battery tray on this, right? It has two tiny little small, I do like that you can change the battery without removing it. Two tiny little, I don't even know if those are Phillips or Hex, I think they're Hex screws, extremely small. If you're over 30, you're going to need to wear some magnified glasses, some reading glasses, to be able to take these little tiny screws out. And you're going to need some pliers to pull the tray out. I prefer my Seymour heads-up optic that just has a little lever that you just pull and it just slides out. It just kind of holds in by almost like a detent on the inside. So I don't like the screws that hold it in. Those are very, very easy to cross thread, and I imagine if I change the battery more than a few times, it's probably going to be what I'm going to end up doing by mistake. So the base rifle, I think you can pick it up sometimes with the SB1 or the SB3 brace around $700. All right, sometimes $650, $750. You know, shop around. I don't like the proprietary handguard. The handguard that came on it is secured with 8 Allen screws, and they were backing out after just shooting 50 rounds through it. If you're going to run it, I would recommend swapping out the handguard or taking those screws out if you're going to run it stock and putting red Loctite on them and torque them down. So that's pretty much it. Recommend it. Like I said, it's accurate, it's reliable, it's inexpensive, and it's a fun plinking gun. Given an option, of course, if I had to defend my home and I had to go to my gun safe to take this out, and I've got my AR-15 sitting next to it, I'm going to grab the AR-15. Right? It is 9mm, 5-inch barrel, so you are talking about pistol ballistics. But still a fun little plinker, and being that where I live, I can shoot in my backyard. I have a safe backstop. Run it suppressed, and I can basically train my manual of arms on my AR-15. Not necessarily so much for me, but for my son, so he can learn the manual of arms on the AR-15 without really bothering the neighbors too much. Right. So if you've been on the fence about getting one of these, I'd recommend it. I never really thought about having an AR-9 type setup. I kind of thought, you know, it's pointless. It's an AR-15 that shoots pistol rounds. Why would you do that? But you know, for the price, and you know, very impressed with the quality of this. I didn't expect much at that price level. I would say go for it.